Hello Facebook Live. It's Marilyn Devonish here from transformationstm.com. And one of the things I've been kind of meaning to get around to, particularly in the run up to the Huna workshop, is just to do a little series on things I love about Huna. I'm also going to do one on the A to Z of photo reading as well, where, I won't say every day, but over a period of a couple of months, I'll work my way through the alphabet of photo reading. We'll probably start with, activation, even though it's the very last step, it's the first letter of the alphabet. But this one, I thought we would look at Huna, and I've just finished doing a session with my membership group where we were working with what you call the elementals and kind of taking them through a particular process for doing some energy clearing to coincide with the summer solstice. And the reason, and so we worked with the fire energy, the reason being that, of course, the summer solstice is about the sun. And so I also brought in some Huna symbols as well for people to work with. So I thought it might be kind of fun to kind of kick off the things I love about Huna series with the elementals and kind of tell you a little bit about them. One of the things I think I really love about the elementals, and when I was first introduced to them, it was almost like giving your work an extra boost. So when I was in the days I used to see clients at home, for example, I would put the elementals under the sofa because I knew that's where they would sit, and they would kind of work their magic. And one of the and we did a taster of it just now with for you guys who joined me for the energy clearing ritual. We used the fire energy, and we did a bit of, because they say there are 6 keys to invoking the elementals, and so I took you through some of those this evening in terms of talking about the importance of the name of the element. We were looking at the color of the element. We did a little piece around kind of connecting in with the energy of that, and of course we'll talk about the 6 elements when I run the Huna workshop next month. But it's a way of kind of invoking them above and beyond the way that people often work with energy. Now, with regards to in Huna terms, there are the 5 elements, and then they transition into the way that you would set them up and use them as elementals. But you've got the traditional earth, you've got the kind of the water, you've got the fire, got the air, and then there's an extra piece which they call in Hawaiian terms the Io. And the Io is almost like the space between the space. I don't know if you can see it here, but I'm wearing I'll hold it there just in front of my nose, so I know you can definitely see my face. So this is the Huna symbol in its entirety, and this encompasses all of Huna. And the Io, if you can see, there's a triangle with a big circle, and then there's a smaller circle in the center. What you probably can't see on camera is that smaller circle is amethyst. And amethyst, the deep purple is the color of the Io, and this is the space within the space. So when I'm doing Huna energy clearing work with my clients, when we're clearing the energy and bringing it out of the system, we're then putting it into the space between the space, because that is a place where the energy is transmuted. Hi, Lisa. That's the space where the energy is transmuted. So this evening, for those of you in my membership group, it was a 30-minute process. The video is up now, by the way, if you want to go back and see it, if you weren't able to do it live. So what we did is we invoked, worked with the sun god energy. I actually took you through some Huna processes. I used the Huna symbols during that energy transmission. We also did a kind of an energetic connection piece. We did a kind of speaking it out loud in terms of, number one, what you want to clear. And then once we drew a line under that, we did the speak it into existence piece for then drawing in the energy of what you want to bring in. We did the candle ceremony bit as well. So the video of that is there. It's just over half an hour. So, and there are various points in the video where I would suggest that you pause if you want more time to do the writing, or if you want more time to do the energetic connection. But I'll just show you a couple of the symbols that I used with my group. So we used this one, and I've just done a Facebook Live before this one where I showed you the actual cauldron that I use. And so this is a really lovely symbol, and the literal translation of this one is ignite the cauldron of the alchemists. And what you're doing with this one is using the fire energy to invoke and transmute things and then make them permanent. So I tend to use this one at the end of an energy clearing session, let's say, because I want to make what I've worked on with the client, I want to now make that permanent. I don't want it to be a transitory thing. I want it to be something that lasts. And so this would come under the fire elemental. And this is one that is really good for aiding transformation. Definitely be careful where you put it. Don't put it near anything flammable. And so with this one, for example, this is the one where I would put it if I needed. Let's say if a client is looking for what you might call motivation. They want to be inspired. They want to be fired up. This is the symbol that I would invoke. This is the symbol that I would draw. So I've just actually done this symbol for you energetically on that Facebook Live recording. So you can just sit back and receive the energy of it during the transition. Let me find another one that I used. This one again, because we were talking about the sun, we were talking about the energy of the sun. What I did is I invoked this symbol for the group, and the literal translation of this one is connecting to and bringing down the source of light. And so again, it's that kind of wonderful sort of radiating energy that I was bringing in for the group and allowing them to to experience the energy of that. And I'll be interested to know, once you actually go back and listen to the recording and actually watch the recording, because I've explained to you on that video really nice ways that you can use this energy and invoke this energy and kind of bring it to life. We're not going to go into that again because I'll be here for another half an hour. But also, it'd be really interesting to see how does having the visual there enhance and change the experience for you. Be really interested to know. And then, there's a Hawaiian name for all of the elementals. There's the English name, which is the space, air, fire, water, etc., etc. And then there's the Indian name as well. So for those of you who kind of work with that deity, and each of the elementals has a particular quality. So for example, let's just say Ahi, the fire energy, that has the quality of light, it has the quality of heat, and that's what we were working with today. I often work with the water energy and the elementals of that, which will be the kind of the cooling energy, and that color would be a deep blue. So it depends, it depends on what I'm working on, depends on what people want to clear, depends on what they want to invoke. For those of you who've, let's say, attended photo reading, you would have had a taster of that, because I go round on the photo reading workshop. I'm saying to people, what would you like to work on? What would you like to clear? Or what would you like to enhance? What would you like to increase? What would you like to decrease? And then if somebody says, oh, I'm feeling a bit down, that's when I would use the fire energy to fire them up. There are some really nice energies for calming things down. So that would be working with the energy of Uli, for example. And so, yeah, you use the elementals according to the situation you find yourself in and according to what is required. For example, there are times like I wouldn't use the water elemental, for example, on my PC, but there have been times I've needed to fire it up a bit, so I will use a different kind of energy. But water I probably wouldn't use because that's not a good mix. However, but I might blow some energy, some circuitry through it, and it will be the same with a human being. There will be different ways to use the elementals, and you can put the elementals into a room. So, for example, when you guys, for those of you who are coming along to the Huna one-day workshop next month, because I know you're already coming for Huna, you already want to know about Huna, I will put the elementals into the room before you arrive. And there's one that I place on the door, and so no matter what somebody's come with, as they walk through the door into the hotel room, they automatically feel different. There are elementals that I put up in the ceiling, and so the energy of that comes down. And again, if the one coming through the door didn't get you, once you're sitting in the room thinking you're just concentrating eyes front, what I've put above you will do that. And there's also an elemental that I put around the room, so that regardless of what's going on outside, and regardless of what you've got going on outside as well, we create almost like a sacred space. And I think that's one of the reasons why often when people come to workshops, they don't want to go home. And I remember there was one particular photo reading workshop, people were still there. We finished at 6:30. I finished on time. People were still there at 10:30 in the evening, just chilling. People sitting on the tables, that number one, they're buzzing from learning about photo reading. They're also buzzing because we do Huna as part of that. And then they were just like, oh my God, and they were just kind of getting a taster of the world of possibility that has opened up for them. And I also think that one of the reasons why people often reluctant to go home is because of the energy that has been created in that room. So for example, with the workshop I'm running this coming Saturday, that's the free one-day workshop for those of you who are coming along, because I already know you're into this stuff. We've been working together in the Facebook group. I will set up some elementals beforehand as well. With something like the photo reading, because the Huna is optional and people have a choice of whether or not they want to experience it, or if they would rather not, I don't set the elementals up beforehand. But once we've finished the first evening, because I always do it on the Friday night so that it can aid the transformation throughout the rest of the weekend. Once people have given permission, then I will actually do the elementals while people are there in the room. And then I go around to each person individually asking, what is it you need? What is it that's, what's the problem, or what do you want more of? And then depending on that, I will invoke the elementals to help them with that. And many of my clients, the way I will describe this one, there are times in a coaching session, a breakthrough coaching session, I'll ask the client a question and they go, I don't know, I can't think. And I'll let, I give people one or two I don't knows if I really think they know. And normally we're on telephone, we're on Skype, so, and oftentimes there's no camera. So they will be sitting at home confused. While they're doing that, I am sitting here and I'm going, although I do the quiet version. So I'll just be sitting here and I'll be thinking about the symbol. I draw the symbol, and there's one that gives people clarity, and there's one to open up the third eye, for example. So if I need them to go deeper, I'll open it up for the third eye. If I just want clarity in terms of their headspace, I'll do the one above their head. And about 10 seconds later, they'll go, oh, well, actually, there's this and there's this and there's this. And they almost can't understand how suddenly, whoosh, all this stuff is coming out. But that's why. Well, actually, I'm telling you all of my little secrets now about what I do to you guys in the coaching sessions and teleseminars, but holy hum. But yeah, so that's how it works. So that's how I'm working with the energy. That's how I'm working with the symbols. That's how I'm working with the 5 elementals. And I think for me, one of the most powerful pieces is, one that I really loved when I was introduced to it was the EO, the space between the space. Because that really truly is the space of transformation. I was doing on a Facebook Live, I pulled up one of my old leaflets and brochures, and funnily enough, this is the color pretty much of the EO. And I had done this, when did I do this? This was in 2001. And my first trip out to Hawaii was in 2005. So there was a bit of a gap between that. But when I got to Hawaii, I saw the color of the EO. I heard the properties of the EO. I thought, oh my God, that's exactly what I'm doing with transformations. And so there was I loved it already. And then there was this extra synergy. So yeah, one of the things I love about Huna is the elementals. This will transition into another one of the things I love, which is the ability to transcend time and space and work with people from great distances. So I've got clients out as far afield as Australia, and they will still feel the energy, even when we're not on a Skype or telephone call, because I just might transmute something because they're on my mind. But yeah, one of the things I really love about Huna is the elemental. So I just thought I would share that one with you. And there'll be more in the series. I posted the first 4. So if you want a little written explanation, there's somewhere on actually, if you probably search for #Huna, I might have done #things I love, but #Huna will be the easiest way if you want to catch up with some of the others. And I'll do little, as over the rest of the year, probably I'll just do little videos just sharing with you some of these aspects. And of course, if you're coming to the Huna workshop next month, you get a whole day just to be immersed in this stuff. And not just, we'll talk about it theoretically, of course, to begin with, but I really want that to be an experiential day so that we use the stuff we're talking about and you get to actually feel it firsthand and experience it and clear and release and use this wonderful, wonderful modality. So thank you so much for joining me. Wishing you all a very happy summer solstice if you're watching this in real time. And I will catch you all later. So, thank you. If you're coming on Saturday, I really look forward to it. And if you're joining me and if you want to join me for the Huna workshop, that one is www.hunaintro.eventbrite.com if you want to kind of join us for that. And I've also said, actually, I should put the survey onto the Huna page, but I've actually also put up just a little survey for people who can't make this one, but would like to register their interest should I run another one, because there's been a several year gap between running them. It's not something I run all the time. So you can do that. And also, because I had people going, oh, I can't make it, and of course they live abroad as well. So what I've also set up on that Eventbrite page is an option where you can sign up for remote Huna. So while we're at the workshop, for those of you who have signed up, you will be included in all of the energy clearing processes that we do. And for those of you who have already signed up, I've sent you an email saying it's optional, you don't need to, but if you want to send me your photograph, what I'll do is I'll have the photographs in an envelope as well in the room, just so you have that sense of being more energetically present. But as I've already explained, in terms of the way this works remotely, that's not necessary at all. It will just be something if you wanted to do it for the fun of it and to be more present, so I can actually see you when I'm doing the energy clearing. But all of that is on the Eventbrite page if you can't make the workshop, but you want to sign up to be part of the remote processes throughout the day when I run the workshop next month. So cool, check that out if that's of interest, and I'll catch you all later. Bye bye.